The third and final debate in the 2012 US presidential campaign took place earlier this week, and it saw President Barack Obama and his Republican rival Mitt Romney face off over foreign policy towards countries including Libya, Pakistan and China. Most US observers agreed that, as expected, Obama seemed to have the better of the exchange on foreign policy positions, while the list of issues included the usual suspects, the Middle East, Pakistan, Iraq and Afghanistan. After weeks of fairly tough talk about China, the candidates also paid some attention to what many in the world see as the US's main political and military rival, China. Now, issues touched on in this aspect included Sino-US trade, the appreciation of China's currency, that's the renminbi, and even copyright piracy at one point. So how have Chinese net users reacted to this latest and final debate? Well, let's head over now to the newsroom and our researcher, Julia Liu, to find out. Hi, Julia. First, let's focus on what Chinese net users felt about the general performance of the two candidates. Did they agree with those US polls that generally favoured Obama?
Well, in general, the answer is yes, although there was some overall disappointment. This is from Sino.com. In my view, this round was obviously less intense than the last one. On many issues, including Libya, Romney even seemed to abandon his original position and began to support Obama's ideas. But some net users, including this one, called Kyle, have Republican sympathies, saying, although neither of these two candidates are so good, personally, I prefer Romney a little. Obama has served 4 years without any special achievements, and during these 3 debates, he hasn't done much either. At least Romney is still a little unknown and might give the public some new expectations. And seems this poster, Xu Kaixiang, is disappointed with both candidates as well. The debate was lively and it showed tough attitudes on foreign policy. But besides this, what else did we get? They didn't talk about economics problems that most people are worried about, nor how to vitalize the real estate industry, nor how to deal with the financial crisis. Maybe they both avoided these issues because they both have no idea how to solve them. And finally, on this, a poster on dbw.cn has a lighter take, saying, after seeing the debate video, I was really impressed by the colorful politics, not just the poll charts, but even the candidates' ties. The details show how carefully the whole event is designed.
Okay, and moving on to what Chinese net users probably found most interesting about this, how the two candidates dealt with China-related issues. What are you seeing on that?
Well, first, I'd like to point out the interesting differences between the US and Chinese media on the third debate. In fact, I checked several US media and found that many, including the New York Times and CNN, didn't mention the China issues at all. While CNN even said the candidates made little mention on the growing superpower after weeks of talks. However, most news headlines in China described these as the key issues of the third round and called it a rare situation. Well, some net users found it a little strange. Well, this poster from 163.com says, they only mentioned Chinese issues for a short time, but it seems some people feel we were at the center of it. Well, this poster, Xue Zhongteng on Weibo.com, was a little described at the content of this, saying, I never thought that one day China's copyright piracy problem would become a topic influencing the US presidential election. However, in the idea of this poster, the Xue Haipei, who lives in the US, thinks China certainly plays a more important role in America's daily life than in the past. 15 years ago, when politicians discussed China-related items during the debates, most Americans felt it had little to do with their daily lives. But now, when politicians talk about China, Americans really take it seriously, since it has a major effect on everyday life. But another poster still feels that it's economics that dominate the relationship. We know that from 2000 to 2010, US elections will focus on anti-terrorism rather than China issues. But of course now things have changed. The economy and China are back. Actually, I think the China issues are only an extension of the economy and employment issues. China itself doesn't have any special meaning. And then this poster from Sino.com has this warning. Don't take what the candidates say during the debates seriously. In my view, they are just using China issues as a tool to attack one another. They don't have anything serious to say about the important Sino-US relationship. To be honest, I'm disappointed.
Right, Julia. So do Chinese net users feel the outcome of this election will really have a major impact on Sino-US relations, especially, say, in that economic aspect that was mentioned so often there?
Well, I have to say most net users have a fairly laid-back attitude on this and don't believe the new president, whether it's Obama or Romney, will suddenly start making huge policy changes on Sino-US issues. Well, Liu Xinchun from Sina.com says, although the candidates might criticize China a lot, both of them still have a consensus that the U.S. needs to set up a good relationship with China. After all, a developing and stable China will obviously benefit the U.S. more than not. Well, this poster Tang Luoluo shares his opinion about that development. I think the fact that China is growing stronger can't be denied by anyone, but the point is, what kind of influence is it having? And I think currently reality shows us our growth hasn't had much of a positive effect. But why is that? In terms of both foreign policy and our development strategy, I really think our government has to do better. And finally, a poster called Donghuang on QQ.com has this wise advice. No matter who wins in the end, just take the decision with a calm attitude. What we should pay more attention to is our own daily affairs. How to ensure the Chinese people live happily is always the main issue.